snazzy. Find Miriam Frega's dorm room. The door leading inside seems a lot more ornately decorated than the other dorms. Makes sense. Go knock on the door, but you don't realize that it's only partially closed. As your fist comes into contact with the wood, you accidentally push the door wide open. Disgruntled, so there she is. Well, that reminds me of Weiss. Excuse me, how dare you barge into my room? This is about as expected. Insects have no respect. Sorry, I meant to knock, but... Construct, remove these hoodlums from my room. Guards? Mods? Ban that chatter. That's literally what it sounds like. Corner of a room, Arcane Construct stands up and starts moving, and starts making its way towards you. Before you can protest, it raises its fist to hit you. Oh shit. Celeste locked in with the sword. This is also pretty good. That's pretty good. There's a reason she's our bodyguard. You only have enough time to raise your arms and brace yourself for the impact. Close your eyes and wait for the blow. But instead, you hear the clang of steel against steel. Confused, you open your eyes to see Celeste standing between you and the construct. Her sword is drawn and she's using it to block the construct's fist. Taking a closer look at Celeste, the student stares curiously at her. Construct, stand down. Acknowledged. I'm terribly sorry for that. I wasn't aware that this was your serf. Celeste looks angry but puts her sword away without a word. I haven't noticed you were on campus. Are you a new student? If she has a personal attendant, she must be important. What? You see an opportunity. Yes, my master just enrolled here recently. What? Celeste gives you a puzzled look, but you make a silent gesture back. For a moment, she seems to realize what you're doing. Yes, I just started here. I take it you're Miriam Frega? I'm honored that you recognize me. Yep, occupation student. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Ms. I'm Celeste. Celeste Steelwind. I'm Celeste Steelwind. This is totally not going to come back and bite us in the ass. Can't believe her. There's no way she's going to believe Steelwind. A pleasure to meet another member of such an esteemed house. She must be from a branch family. Maybe I can use her. Wait, she's actually buying this? They changed her name to Steel. Fucking damn it. Just moved in, and I thought that I should introduce myself. Seeing as you're a top student in the field of conjuration. Conjugation. Conjuration. Come on now. Conjuration. Yes. Well, there's no backing out now. Okay, there we go. One back, Leslie. So what are you doing now?
Cause I would join a VC. So you can chat, but I am unsure.
I was wondering if we could ask you some questions about... Excuse me. I don't believe anyone has permitted you to speak. Oh, here we go. Celeste is still smiling, but you can faintly hear her grinding her teeth together. So we heard about what happened to Professor Bellwether. can't believe it. Yes, it's quite tragic what happened to her. She's always been an acquaintance of House Frege. She appears to be more receptive to Celeste. Bear? It's also kind of reviewing English. Ah, reviewing the English. See. That is, if I recall how well you did with English last time, then yeah, that would make sense. Focus on the English. Maybe better let her take the lead on the questioning. Okay. Talk about the murder, Celeste. I heard that you saw her on the day of the murder. Can you tell us more about what happened? Oh, you heard about that from your relative, did you? If you don't mind me asking, why are you so interested? You sound like Arya. Is she? Oh, you know. I'm just curious is all. You know how uneventful life can be sometimes. Being a noble and all. Alright, tone it down. Is that all? I swear you were going down the same path as that poor, confused Arya. What do you mean by that? I'm in the middle of a study break anyways. I suppose I have some time to sate your curiosity. Construct, please please prepare some tea. Use that lotus tea we imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. It could be useful if I can win her over. Acknowledged. Lotus tea? You have lotus... It's not lotus juice. You feel like you're slowly losing control of the situation. Alright, what did you see? I heard that you saw the professor on the day of the murder. Where did this happen? I was in the hallways when I saw her coming out of the headmaster's office. She was heading towards the library. I don't remember what time this happened. I'm not really sure, honestly. It's a little embarrassing, but I have a habit of getting too absorbed in my work. Sometimes I'll let entire hours pass by without noticing. You have a rough idea, at least. I think it was in the morning. She thinks it was in the morning? Anyways, did anything seem off about her? No, it was a short encounter. She was feared. I merely greeted her, and she responded in kind. Or at least, that's what should have happened. Means that's not what happened. Get your attention. Small notions, you shake your head to indicate that Miriam is holding something back. Whew. Were you and the professors really on good terms? Archie was pretty mean towards other students. Towards the riffraff, maybe. But not the students like us. She was a great ally to House Frege. Or at least, she used to be. That's why we were planning on appointing her as the new headmaster. What? So your family was going to replace Bellwether... was going to appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster. I was like, what? I'm surprised you didn't know. House Frege holds several seats on the Academy's board. You're making plans to have her replace that lout Redmond. Oh, great. Did Headmaster Redmond know about this? Oh, of course not. This is part of a large-scale plan. With Redmond, we were also going to replace all the staff members with... I remember this, yeah. With arcane constructs. We had to keep everything under wraps, or else the help would have left prematurely. Where would that leave us? She had supposedly overheard Bellwether talking about the constructs. Did Bellwether prematurely reveal the plan, or was Jan lying about how he found out? Alas, with Bellwether gone, we'll have to delay our plans. Yeah. Cuthbert beating a few weeks ago. Frega's rapier. We've heard she still won't give it back to me. Father will have my head if I can't get it back soon. How did it even become part of the investigation anyways? I know Arya won't tell me anything. I swear, that necromancer was the one who stole it. I'll execute him myself. So someone did steal it from you. Yes, from right out my room. When did this happen? About a few weeks ago. I noticed when I came back from one of my classes, someone removed the rapier from its display case in my room. How did they get into your room in the first place? I think someone used magic to teleport past the door. Please, I'm a master of conjuration magic. If someone attempted that, my enchantments would have shunted them out. This means the thief came through one of the doors or windows. I bet it was that necromancer. I'm sure a street child like him just knows how to pick a lock. Yeah, because that's how that works.
Anger.
Let's talk about your grades. Further, one of the Academy's top students. Your grades must be amazing. Of course. As an inheritor of House Frega, my grades are impeccable. Feels good to have my greatness recognized. Was anything contradictory through the eye this time? I could gesture towards Celeste to continue pursuing her. What kind of magic do you study here? You must be joking. I study magic from the School of Conjuration. Just like most members of my house. School of Conjuration. Type of magic that specializes in spatial manipulation and teleportation, right? Yes, I consider myself quite the expert in the field. Why, the Crown Prince himself has asked for my assistance in a research study. So has to work with someone of my caliber.
Does that mean she's not lying?
If she's smart enough to get the Crown Prince's attention, why would she be cheating? This is true.
It says something about my wayward relative before. You talking about Arya?
Oh, I'm terribly sorry if I offended you. But I'm sure it must be a pain. It must pain you to see the way that she's been acting lately. Yes, it's been extremely hard. Hang in there, Celeste. Did you know that she even interrogated me about the murder yesterday? Can you believe it? A steel one running around a crime scene like a common knight. Yeah, I can believe it. I can believe that she believes in the truth and all that jazz.
Why? Why if I tried something like that?
My father would disown me. It's the ability to not approve of Steelman becoming a prosecutor. You always thought it strange. What is motivating her to do this? Honestly, she probably thinks she can do anything just because of her betrothed. Aster deserves, so she has a fiance named Aster. So that's a nice perk up on hearing this. You'd be lying if you weren't also curious about who this Aster is. But you shoot her a stern look that tells her to stay focused. You can't risk blowing your cover for some gossip. Yeah. Oh, an arcane construct. You have an arcane construct in your room. I thought they only had them in the library in the Rockler room. This construct was a gift from House von Sanctus. I have to say, they're quite convenient to have around. They look really cool. Maybe I should get one. You should. A construct would be far more useful than this attendant of yours.
More raids.
Unfortunately, there are still some issues with their intelligence. Their intelligence? Issues when you give them complex commands. Be easier to show you. Here's the construct and begins gesturing. So the constructs play a role in this. We have one in the evidence. We're about to get an explanation on how they work, I assume.
Something's happened here with the constructs.
Construct, please retrieve my textbooks and bring them here. Then, cast Steel Wind Strike at this location. After that, retrieve some plates and set them out at this table. Acknowledged. What? Construct stands up and retrieves Miriam's textbooks from one of the shelves in the room. Brings the table you're sitting at, just like she ordered. But then, it suddenly stops moving. Wait, what happened? The construct obviously can't cast Steel Wind Strike, so my second command wasn't possible to carry out. But did you notice something else? It ignored your third command too, yeah. Correct, my third command was possible to carry out. So why did it ignore that command? Constructs execute a series of commands in the order that they're given. Let's say one of these tasks is impossible to complete. When the construct gets to that task, it will deem the entire series impossible to complete. As a result, it will stop executing the series altogether. So if a task in a series of commands is impossible, then that command will interrupt the sequence of commands. Exactly. Construct's logic limitation. Add it to your notes, which... yeah, it just goes over the same thing. A, B, and C, processes individually. If task B is impossible, the construct won't realize this until it reaches task B. When it reaches task B, it will deem the entire series of commands as impossible and stop what it's doing, without even attempting to complete task C. Lady Steelwind, I'm afraid we must leave now if we want to make our next engagement. Right. Let's go, servant.
Oh?
Leaving already? It's a pleasure talking to you. Yeah, sure. I hope to see you around. You make your way back to the foyer with Celeste. With all the time you've spent, you only have a brief amount of time before night falls. If you didn't want to talk to her more, you're getting a lot out of her. We already got a lot of useful information out of her. The more time we spend with her, the more likely she is to see through our ruse. Yup. Right. So, why Steelwind? I don't know, I panicked. Arya's like the only noble I know. What about Pierce? I'm not using that creep's name. Hopefully Steelwind doesn't mind us borrowing her name. I mean, it is a little crazy to ask her to use the name of the noble that killed her dad. We got her statement on what she saw that day. That's also what she said about her rapier. She was lying when she said it was stolen. She's probably trying to establish an alibi. I'm not so sure. How do you say that? Doesn't it feel too obvious? If she was lying about the rapier being stolen, that would imply that she planned all of this in advance. But if she had to choose a murder weapon, why would she choose something that literally has her name on it? I understand if the murder weapon was a spur-of-the-moment decision, she might have just used something nearby in this case. But if this was premeditated murder committed by Miriam, that rapier would have been the last weapon she would choose. Right, I guess that makes sense. There's also the evidence of academic dishonesty. That doesn't match up with what we heard from Miriam. Yeah, let's look what the crap is. She's probably just making these up to look good in front of me. I have an insight when it comes to things like this. Under normal circumstances, I can usually tell when someone is lying. And a lie as grandiose as that would be something I would definitely see through. People can subconsciously shield themselves from the Eye of Horus, even if they don't know about it. But when they do that, you usually can't see any thoughts from them. You also saw that she was lying about her encounter with Bellwether. You would have seen dissonant thoughts if she was lying about her other grades. Well, about her grades. Well, I guess I'll trust your insight. But what does this mean? I don't know. Even with everything we found, I'm still not sure who the real culprit is. At the very least, I think we should still try to pull Miriam onto the stand. If she testifies in a court, I might be able to find something I can use. That's a big maybe. If you don't play your cards right, you might spook the Fragos enough for them to pay off the judge. Either way, it's getting late. We'll probably have to turn in soon. Yeah. Yeah, it's very much getting late with the sun coming through the glass and the doors. Just hope you did enough to acquit Wallace. We did what we could. Gavel. Court is now resumed for the trials of Wallace and Nightgrave. Let's review the proceedings from yesterday. It's revealed that the trace of necromancy may have not been left by the defendant. It may have been left by a witness who used necromancy to attempt to heal the victim. Or the victim was seen by witnesses well after her time of death. I'll be right back. Oh, I need to grab something real quick. Sorry. Alright, yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So yeah, the victim was seen by witnesses well after the time of death, yeah. Back and left. Left. It can only be explained by the defendant using necromancy to animate the victim's body. This question, where did the murder take place? Prosecutors have an answer for this. Like the murder took place in the library. On the court where the victim was sighted before the body was found. Meeting was scheduled for 12 p.m. My schedule for that day, our meeting lasted for an hour. Soon saw the victim walking in the hallways. Are coming out of the headmaster's office, yep. Heading towards the library. Well. She's the first witness saw Bellwether leave the headmaster's office. Presumably, this would have happened after her meeting there. That would time this encounter around 1 p.m. The other event is the discovery of the body. This was when Valentina Nietta's contacted security. I tried to save her. Already established, this event occurred at 3:04 p.m. The significance of this time is in what occurred before the body was discovered. The second witness, a member of the cleaning staff, spotted the victim in the West Wing hallway. It's probably 20 to 30 minutes before the twins found the body. This means this encounter must have happened no later than 2:30 p.m. And this implies that the victim was near the library between 1 p.m. and 2:30 p.m. That's an hour and a half gap. That's not insignificant. According to the defendant's statements, he was in the library during this time period. Furthermore, the time of death was at 2:07 p.m. Mr. You saw the victim's animated body. Steelwind's deduction. Thank you, because there was no way I was going to remember all of this. Alright, thank you.
Yeah, deduction certainly tracks. You have to say in your defense, Mr. Cuthbert. The prosecution's argument is definitely well thought out, Your Honor. However, it is entirely predicated on the testimonies of all the witnesses involved. Yep. Steelman's deduction has to have a hole somewhere. Since your conversation yesterday, you've had a feeling that Miriam is hiding something. When we get to the truth, you'll need to drag that out of her through a cross-examination. In order to test the validity of these claims, the defense would like both of these witnesses to testify. The defense calls Miriam Frege to the stand. She's not going to be happy about this. The mention of her name, the judge's face turns a bit pale. I'm feeling it would come to this. Do not, Your Honor. Here we go. Very well. Please export Lady Frege to the stand. She's not going to be happy when she sees us. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the... Couldn't even get the words out. You little snakes. How dare you deceive me? Yeah, it's like she found out. I had the opportunity to debrief the witness beforehand. Ms. McCoy, for the record, I told you to exercise discretion. I did not mean that you should impersonate a member of my family. yeah, sorry about that. I gave you all of that tea that I imported from the Eastern Kingdoms. I demand that you return it to me. No, you gave them to me. They're legally mine now. I'll show your business with the witnesses, Miss McCoy. But I would ask that you please handle your personal disputes outside of the courtroom. Anyways, Miriam, could you please testify to the court about your encounter with the victim? I was working on a research project in my dorm room. I decided to take a break. After my room, I went on a walk. That's when I saw Professor Bellwether exiting the headmaster's office. She was walking in my direction, so I greeted her and she responded in kind. After that, she headed towards the library. After that, I went back to my room and continued my work. If it was, the witness's testimony verifies two things. So Mr. Frege saw the professor exiting the headmaster's office. She witnessed the victim head towards the library. It's a rough timeline of where the victim was before her death. It's inconsistent. It's better really into the library that day. You feel like you would have seen her. Yeah, we definitely would have seen or heard her. She clearly liked to make her presence known. Okay. It's these two that are bugging me. Start with this one. Walking in my direction, so I greeted her, and she responded in kind. Did something seem off about her? No, but it was a very short encounter. It's not as if we stopped having a conversation. But you greeted her and she responded. What words did she use? Why is that important? possible that someone used illusion magic that day. Every detail about the victim's interactions could be important. Well, I bid her good morning. And she said good morning in response. Then she headed towards the library. Did you see her enter the library? I didn't, but there's not much else in that direction. Justin and Jan Hughes, we know that she later came from the library. Even if she didn't enter the library, she's still in the area for more than an hour. You're certain that nothing seemed off about her. Yes, like I said, it was a very short encounter. Why did she say that? It only happened over a few seconds. Witnesses' interactions are not what it's important. Yeah, they are. You're using her to establish the fact that the victim was alive at this point. We need to see if she's speaking the truths. Because if she says something, if in her interaction she says something that's off, then we learn new information. What matters is that she witnessed where the victim was coming from and where she went afterwards. Sure that you saw her exit the headmaster's office? Yes, I remember it clearly. I was surprised that she was still in a meeting with the headmaster at all. I was talking about how they were plotting to replace him. Did you interact with the professor at all, Miriam? Is this research project a part of your schoolwork? Independent study to develop a new conjuration spell formula. Project is being sponsored by the Crown Prince himself. What the hell is this about? I wasn't aware that he was involved in such a study. Of course you wouldn't. Did you expect to know every aspect of his life? What the fuck is... You sense a bit of aggression. House Frega might just steal him back. Oh, is she... Whoa. Is Arya... Is her fiance the Crown Prince? Is that what this is? As if... Yeah, there it is. As if His Highness would align himself with your rapacious family. Our baking houses form the economic infrastructure of our kingdom. But perhaps he'll come to the Steel Winds if he needs to clear a den of goblins. With all due respect, may we please focus on the matter at hand? Of course, Your Honor. Ugh. How long did you leave your dorm room? Only for a few minutes. Try not to let my breaks go too long. You didn't see the professor again after your first encounter? No, I did not. Yeah, it's pretty... I can't really see what we're supposed to be pulling at here. Still be lying. Honestly, I'm not sure. I just have to focus on her statements about how Bellwether acted. Yeah, so it's these two. One moment. Why did she say that? She said something. But, like, the only thing that I can think of is that she might have said something about, like, the academic dishonesty. Because nothing else really fits in terms of, like, a relation, like, a connection. There's nothing in here that forms a connection between Miriam and Bellwether besides this.
Hey. Oh no.
It's clear was testimony is contradictory, and this piece of evidence proves it. I fail to see how that proves anything, Mr. Cuthbert. Oh, I haven't seen this face before. Oh, I guess you're right.
Here maybe?
Objection!
Oh god.
Objection, yeah. I'm a little stuck here though. I Okay, what does he say? Her testimony seems pretty straightforward. I have to focus on her statements about how Bellwether acted. The powerful objection. Yeah. It's a pretty good objection.
I will not lie.
It fit right in with any Ace Attorney. So it's like these two. This one more specifically, because she responded. So I bid her good morning, and she responded in kind. And it's like, is it this? At 1 p.m. Is it really? Is that what the game's asking me about? Because she said good morning, but she saw her at 1 p.m. Which isn't exactly morning. You're about like an hour late, but... I'll try this. Oh, there we go. If I recall correctly, you have a habit of getting absorbed in your work. So much so that you'll even lose track of the time of day. I suppose that have to do with my testimony. Earlier in today's proceedings, the prosecutor made the following argument. Yep, I think that encounter would be around 1 p.m. If you had said good morning to the prosecutor, so good morning to the professor, you would have been mistaken. Because the encounter could have only happened during the afternoon. And your point is, I'm with Ari on this, I really don't know what the fucking point is. The witness simply lost track of time. What the witness said isn't what's important here. The significance is in what the professor said in response. She'd just come out of a meeting that was scheduled for noon. She'd be well aware that it was no longer morning. So why would she respond and go, yeah. Wouldn't she have corrected the witness? The encounter was extremely short, and the victim's mind may have been preoccupied. She could have easily responded to the witness without thinking. To be honest, I kind of agree with her. I do too, but like, think of Bellwether's personality. Her ass was definitely correcting Miriam. There was no way. It's definitely a stretch. I get the feeling that she's hiding something. Every time you ask her about how Bellwether acted that day, the eye picks something up. There has to be something there. Miss Vega, you haven't been entirely truthful in your testimony, have you?
Sir, what reason would I have to lie? It's such a small detail. Why does he even care? Every detail about how she acted is important, Miss Frege. What aren't you telling us? Mr. Cuthbert, you have no basis to accuse the witness of perjury. Yes, stop this at once. Miss Frege, you're lying about how Bellwether responded to your greeting, aren't you? It doesn't make a difference. All she did was yell at me. All she did was yell? It's possible that the Bellwether's response was less than friendly. What difference does it make? Why is he being so persistent? Because it matters. My job is to make sure every part of your testimony is truthful. Every detail matters, no matter how seemingly insignificant. Mr. Cuthbert, stop this or I'll find you contempt. Yeah, he's afraid. The professor yelled at you, didn't she, Miss Frege? So what if she did? I mean... I'm sorry, there's no going back on what you just said. So you do admit that she yelled at you. You pertinent little... Yes, I admit it, the professor didn't greet me back that day. Oh, good morning, Professor. Be quiet. She needed me to be quiet, but until then, she'd always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got into her that day, but something put her in a foul mood. But that's it. Everything else I said was the truth. Believe me, right? I did see her come out of the headmaster's office and walk towards the library. That part is true. She wasn't lying about that. So is that all, Mr. Cuthbert? What do you mean, is that all? We did badger the witness. Also, you could prove what exactly? The witness committed perjury. The witness changed a small detail of her testimony. A detail that is inconsequential to the case. It was clearly an act with no malicious intent. It's hard to disagree with that. He was so sure that I would lead you somewhere. Frege was only lying to save face. One saw the victim leave the headmaster's office and head towards the library. Do you have any concrete evidence to refute that, Mr. Cuthbert? No, I suppose I don't. But wait, is this really okay? At this rate, this will be the only chance you have to cross-examine her. I don't think she's lying anymore. I was really pushing my luck earlier. If I continue pressing her, the judge might actually charge me with contempt. But if Miriam isn't the one that's lying, then... Defense has no further questions for the witness, Miss Steelwood. Prosecutor stays silent for a while. She almost looks disappointed. Very well. Miriam, you are dismissed. Miriam still looks like she's fuming, but she leaves the room without protest. The judge breathes a sigh of relief as the young noble is escorted out of the room. Now, with that out of the way, what else do you have, Mr. Cuthbert? The only way to refute the prosecutor's theory is to cast doubt on one of the witnesses. If it wasn't Miriam, then... So to test your theory, you must question every witness that saw the victim that day. So with that said, the defense would like to call Jan Hughes to the stand. I hope you understand, Mr. Cuthbert. Your entire case rests on the assumption that one of the witness accounts is incorrect. If you cross-examine Mr. Hughes leads nowhere, then I hope you're ready to concede. You don't like the sound of it, but she's right. Unless you can find something in Jan's testimony, you won't really have anything to disprove her theory. Bailiff, please bring in Mr. Hughes. Sleepy guy. Please state your name and occupation for the court. Snore. Name and occupation. Right. Jan Hughes, I'm on the cleaning staff of the academy. Hughes, please testify to the court about your encounter with the professor that day. Sure.
Saw the professor when I was cleaning the West Wing hallways. It's about 20 to 30 minutes before the body was discovered. She walked by me, but she looked pretty out of it. I heard she was undead when this happened. Pretty creepy if you ask me. After that, she went into the empty classroom. Well, that was straightforward. Well, Jan, what are you supposed to do with that? I don't know. You guys are the lawyers. I'm just telling you what I saw. Cuthbert, you may begin your cross-examination. By the time, but she looks pretty out of it. Does he also look off about her? Excuse me. I mean, yeah, she was an undead after all. That remains to be proven. If you say so. Anyways, what was her demeanor like? She looked like she was in a bad mood. Either that, or she was tired. But I guess she was just dead inside. Literally. She was dead inside a long time ago, Jan. I believe you've forgotten a few details about what the professor did. Yeah? Sorry. It's hard to remember these things sometimes. So she's gonna ask him for. Did she do anything to you? She answered to you at all. Oh, yeah. I didn't notice her at first and I actually got in her way. She shoved me to the side and kept walking forward. Extremely important. Presented to your testimony. Whatever you say, man. Oh, it's one of these situations where you have to pick a statement. Yeah, she knocked over a vase. Yeah, it shattered it. She's done stuff like that on purpose before. He's added to your testimony. What do you say, man? This means that we need to check evidence. And I need to think. Or at least need to find stuff about Jan. Yep, shit reputation, compendium. Jan statement. She shoved him out of the way. After that, she knocked over a vase and shattered it. Even though Jan didn't say anything to her, she yelled at him to be quiet. She did the same thing with Miriam, where she just yelled at him to be quiet. Which is odd.
Objection!
Okay. Hmm. It doesn't say anything about audio. Neither of these things say anything about audio. Hold on. Did she make any sounds? But I didn't even say anything. Do I present a spell? No. Major illusion? No. She yelled at me.
Objection!
Well, it's obviously this statement, right? It's like did she touch anything?
Objection!
Ooh, I am stumped. Hum 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 hum.
Objection! Objection!
Okay, let's think this through. Jan statements. What Jan state? Videos for the twins found the body. Walked past Jan. Is it away? So not away. Knocked her vase and shattered it. Didn't say anything to her, she yelled at him to be quiet. After this interaction, she walked into lecture hall to B. Bellwether witnessed by Jan Hughes must have been disguised with an illusion. Whoever he saw that day was physically there. So, like, it has to be the did she make any sounds thing, right? Ah, there it is. So I was, but its intelligence is limited, cannot speak. So I was like, well, can the illusions make noises? And it says like purely visual, can't be touched. And so I was like, oh, that means it's one of these, right? No, it's anime corpse. Because they're arguing that he animated the corpse and then moved it. But if she said something, then that clearly wasn't a corpse because corpses can't speak.
Objection!
Give me a second. You said that my mother yelled at you. What were her exact words? She yelled at me to be quiet. Yep, what? That was weird. I didn't even say anything. But I know better than to talk back to her. That's the thing, Hughes. Prosecution's theory is as such. The professor was murdered in the library and was reanimated using animate corpse. With the Wick illusion spell, no one noticed that she was undead. However, if what you saw was truly the undead bellwether, how did she speak to you? Huh. This doesn't make any sense. Mr. Hughes, undead can follow simple orders, but they don't have the intelligence to speak. Perhaps the witness was mistaken. No, I'm sure I heard her yell at me. I remembered because what she said didn't make any sense. Exactly, he didn't say anything, but she still yelled at him to be quiet. Wait a minute. I'm afraid I don't understand. I already established this victim was dead long before her encounter with Mr. Hughes. What he saw wasn't an undead, what was it? It had to be an undead. What other explanation is there? It couldn't have been a major illusion. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to shove Jan out of the way or knock over the vase. Right. Whatever it was, someone probably used illusionary disguise to make it look like Bellwether. Does that mean it was a person? No, if it was a person, how did Bellwether's body end up in the lecture hall? Bellwether wouldn't have been able to turn herself invisible if she was dead. Whatever Jan saw, it needs to be something that could have transported Bellwether's body unseen. It would have also needed to have a mass and the ability to speak. Oh, shit. I see. I was like, I clicked on the construct a couple of times. The constructs have Bellwether's voice. The ones in the Imperial Academy speak using the voice of Catherine Bellwether. And they're these suits of armor. Empty suits of armor, mind you. So you could put the corpse in the body. Well, you could put the corpse in the construct, put a disguise on it, and then move it. Yeah, like he's had the same realization that I've had. That's it. Answer for us, Mr. Cuthbert. What did the witness actually see? The witness didn't actually hear the dead victim speaking. What he actually heard was her voice being recreated using magic. Recreated using a spell. Not a spell, Steelwind. It was artificery. And whoever the murderer is, they had the perfect piece of artificery available to them. One program with Catherine Bellwether's voice. Possibly mean. That's right, Steelwind. What Mr. Hughes saw was an arcane construct. Think of it as a magically animated suit of armor, Your Honor. But we ruled out such a possibility, hadn't we? Construct or not, no one could disguise themselves and carry the body to the classroom. A person wouldn't have been able to do it. But arcane constructs are a different thing entirely. Those suits of armor are extremely large, but more importantly, they're hollow. I see.
That means that theoretically, someone could have placed the victim's body inside it. The Arcane construct wouldn't just transport the body with an illusionary disguise, it would also confuse and mislead anyone who saw it.
Objection!
Commend your deduction, Mr. Cuthbert. I would have never considered that possibility. Certainly possible, but what does this prove exactly? It proves that the body wasn't animated using necromancy. My client isn't the murderer. But it is still capable of performing all of the acts that you described. This compendium contains illusionary disguise, after all. There were several students in the library that day. Any of them could have committed the murder. One might come to that conclusion if they didn't have one crucial piece of evidence. To present a new piece of evidence to the court, pull out the bloody rapier. Is that? Yes, Your Honor. Yep, this is the murder weapon. Saving that for the perfect moment, wasn't she? This rapier was reported stolen by Miriam Frege weeks before the murder. And during the investigation, it was finally found. In the defendant's locker. Wait. He was clearly trying to use one of her possessions in a paltry attempt to frame her. Why? He even stole her locker's nameplate and placed it over his. It's not what happened. But honestly, it sounds more plausible than what really took place. We're basically back to square one. I was thinking the exact same thing. It's like that entire... What just happened, all it really did was establish that constructs can move bodies with illusory disguise, which is not nothing, but we're still on the back foot. Anyone could have told the construct to do all those things. Wait, anyone? Is that really true? The construct transported the professor's body, and someone used an illusion to make it look like her. They even used a pre-recorded voice to make the illusion more convincing. Could anyone have done that? Voice lines can only be changed or adjusted by the Academy Headmaster. I don't think they created or changed one. I think Be Quiet is just a standard one. Academy's locked down a system of artificery covers the entire Academy building. She has shared reputation, his compendium, his statements, orders, pillars. It's an active contract in the locker room. Dishonesty, the rapier. Got this plan, the limitations, and stealing deductions. So who ordered the contract to hide the body? Out of all the pieces, I guess it's the headmaster. Fuck. Several... Wait, so did he murdered Bellwether and then tried to pin it on Wallace? What? Why would he... Why Wallace, of all people? Some of my memories flood back to you. See that Bellwether yelled at you. What were her exact words? She yelled at me to be quiet. She yelled at me to be quiet. But until then, we've always been nothing but courteous with each other. I don't know what got her into that day, but something put her in a foul mood. Be quiet. Sorry. Be quiet. She's giggling. She's amused by what's happening. The construct's voice is just a series of pre-recorded messages. Not sure if you noticed, but it uses the voice of Professor Bellwether. Unfortunately, you can't make them say anything other than what's recorded.
Only the headmaster can change those settings. And there's your creepy ass face again. No, it can't be him. What is it? Tyrion. Should figure something out. I did. But he's seriously the one that's behind all of this. Steelwind, earlier you said that my client could have orchestrated this entire ruse. That's simply not true. So anyone could have ordered the construct to carry out the victim's body. Yes, but not everyone can change what the constructs are able to say. Only one individual has the credentials for that.
Theodore Redmond, headmaster of the Imperial Academy. Oh, here we go. You're not serious, are you? I mean, there's no one else. I must have all this.
It doesn't really make sense from a motive standpoint. I don't like. Well, no, he was gonna get replaced, and I think Bellwether might have spilled that. But why would he really just painted on? Is he really that much of a dick? He's the only person who could have done it. It's completely ridiculous. And Master Rama would never do something like this. Steelwind, there's one common element between each of the witnesses' encounters with Bellwether. It's what Bellwether said to them. Told him to be quiet. Miriam Frege was particularly surprised. She had a good relationship with the professor. But when greeted by the professor, Bellwether just shouted at her. Almost as if the professor was responding indiscriminately. Then recall our encounter with Jan Hughes. The professor knocked over a vase and shouted at him to be quiet immediately after, even though he hadn't said anything. She responded to the sound of the vase breaking. Let me ask you this, Steelwind. Where did Bellwether come from before she encountered Miss Frege and Mr. Hughes? A meeting with the headmaster. Needs to indict Theodore Redmond. Yep. Take a brief recess until he can be brought here. There's no need. Oh, he's already here. Fortunately for you, I'm already in the gallery. Headmaster stood up from the gallery seats behind you and slowly walked onto the witness stand. He's been here the entire time. Please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Cuthbert. But do you think I am the one who committed this crime? I'm sorry, Redmond. No matter how I look at it, everything I've found points to you. No, there's no need to apologize. In fact, I should commend you on the lengths that you're going to defend dear Wallace. Appreciates your understanding. He's angry, though. Now then, to clear the air, I suppose I should give my testimony on what happened that day. Yep, scheduled at noon. She showed up at the expected time and we discussed various administrative matters. Went on for an hour, after which she left to prepare for her next class. Having agreements, we still knew how to be civil with one another. After all, I had no reason to bear a personal grudge against her. You shouldn't have added that. Because immediately the entire replacing staff with robots thing has come to my mind. Seems like such a nice person, he does, but you know, you really can't trust by appearances. He's really the person we're looking for. He has to be. No one else could have orchestrated this entire plot. Just need to find out how. And why. I think we know why. He was gonna get replaced too. Like, I'm immediately going to this, and I'm presenting Bellwether's plan. Yeah, let's go. I'm just that good. I'm just that good. Redmond, did you really hold no animosity towards Professor Bellwether? Of course not. I did have strong opinions about her methods of teaching, but I always remained professional. We both did. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. In fact, I think you might have had a very good reason to murder the professor. Considering that she was going to take your job. What? So you knew about that. Sorry, but I don't follow. Just how was the professor going to take the headmaster's job? According to Miriam Frege, Catherine Bellwether was currying favor with the noble families. In fact, there's a plan to oust Mr. Redmond and appoint Bellwether as the new headmaster of the academy. What? But in any case, I doubt that the headmaster had any idea of this until now. I'd like to remind the court of the witness's reaction just now. He said, "So you knew about that." His reaction was one of surprise. But he wasn't surprised by this information. He's surprised that I knew this information. That's... Oh boy. Please. Here I am. Maybe a frail old man. I'm perfectly capable of defending myself. What's with... Alright, you switched your face up. If you have an explanation, Mr. Redmond, then by all means, I'd love to hear it. Gladly. It is true that I knew about the Frege's plot beforehand, but I had only just learned about it. On the day of the murder, the professor told me about her plan. She was going to replace me as headmaster and replace the staff with her arcane constructs. Now you might say this would have given me the perfect motive to murder the professor. However, this murder weapon was stolen from Miss Frege. This happened weeks before the murder and my discovery of the professor's treachery. I had no knowledge of their plan before she told me, and therefore I wouldn't have known to steal Miss Frege's weapon in an attempt to frame her. That is pretty good. If he really did do this, that means he stole the rapier too, right? Most likely. His alibi makes sense. He couldn't have planned this whole thing unless he knew about Bellwether's plans. That would mean he knew about this weeks ago. But how did he even find out? The best way to tell a convincing lie is to leave a lot of truths and only change one detail. Maybe Bellwether did tell him, but she actually told him weeks ago. The question is, how do you prove that? I think it's what Jan said. I think it was Jan that was talking about... He got told weeks ago, or it was like a rumor that started weeks ago. It's supposed to be kept a secret, but according to Jan, Bowder revealed this plan to the headmaster during a meeting a few weeks ago. There we go.
Objection!
Oh wait, that's the wrong statement.
Objection!
And the witness testimony is contradictory in this piece of what? How does that not prove it? Therefore, I wouldn't have known to steal Miss Frege's weapon to Fucking face. As the headmaster, you probably have the tools available to get into her room. Yes, I will admit that. The Academy has a master key that can be used to enter each of the students' dorms. And yes, as headmaster, I would have access to that key. I steal the rapier undetected. Suppose I did. However, there's one flaw with your logic. Well, I was just playing before she told me, and therefore I wouldn't have known to steal. But you did. I have evidence to show that you did. Jan's statements. The Freges wanted to keep this a secret until the very end. Why would Bellwether, of all people, tell you about her betrayal? Imagine she wanted to taunt me with that information. We've long had our disagreements, and looking back, she may have resented me for that. At that point, there wasn't anything I could do to stop her. Really? Then you and the professor were on good terms. I thought so too, but I suppose it was all a facade. She was just biding her time until she could take my position as headmaster. How do we prove it? Do we have something that proves that he knew about it before the day of the murder?
Objection!
Why isn't it this statement? Is it this one?
Objection!
There we go. So it's just the wrong one. I mean, I disagree with that. I feel like you could have presented that where I was putting it, where he mentions, well, I didn't know anything. He does it here too, but the other one's later and has more context. You keep saying you didn't know about Bellwether's plot before yesterday. You still plan on standing behind that claim? Of course I am, because it's the truth. I'm sorry, Redmond, but you should really close your doors during your meetings. Oh boy. Yeah, you did it. You got a face like that. Did someone see? Some fear. It is true that Bellwether revealed her plan to you during one of your meetings. In fact, Jan Hughes happened to overhear that same meeting. But he only heard the part where the staff would be replaced. And that's the strangest part, Redmond. According to Mr. Hughes, this meeting occurred weeks ago. Can't accuse the headmaster of perjury based on a rumor. Everything you've just said is based on secondhand information. Mr. Hughes distinctly overheard that the staff would be replaced with arcane constructs. That is too specific and too accurate to assume that he misheard a different conversation. The professor probably only revealed her plan for the arcane constructs. That still doesn't prove that he knew about her treachery beforehand. Professor Bellwether had no authority over the cleaning staff's employment. It wouldn't make sense for her to just reveal her plan for the arcane constructs. That would only make sense if he knew that Bellwether would be taking his job. So, tell me one thing, Redmond. Why did you find the need to lie about this? Is it because you saw a need to protect yourself from my accusations? Redmond, I asked you a question. Did you murder Catherine Bellwether? Taking this screen. That's pretty good. What a fine mess this is. I'm not done. Not yet. Headmaster. So, you truly plan on pushing this, are you? Well, your thesis sounded promising, Mr. Cuthbert, but I believe your arguments could use a little work. Oh boy. We arguing. You think I killed Catherine Bellwether? Me? I'm an elderly man in his late 80s. Yeah? I was alone and had nothing to overpower Bellwether with. I can barely walk, much less wield a rapier. I do love these moments where it picks up and it's just like me back and forth. We're done with this cross-examination. We're having a conversation now. I was alone and had nothing to overpower Bellwether with. You weren't alone though. There's an arcane construct. Is there an arcane construct in his room? They're everywhere, right? Okay. Think. Wait, no, he had to have one, because if he murdered... Okay. If she was dead... and replaced with a construct that had the disguise and is carrying her body. Before Miriam's run-in with, I guess, a fake Bellwether, then she would have died in the headmaster's room. Okay. there could have already been a construct in there to overpower her with, but I can't see anything else in my evidence that points to anything else. So I'm gonna do the construct. I think he had one in the room with him, and that's how he overpowered her.
But you and Bellwether weren't the only people in that room, were you? You needed the arcane construct to carry Bellwether's body, exactly. That means that the construct would have already been in your office. And with your privileges, you could have easily programmed the construct to stab Bellwether for you.
Got his ass.
Even so, think about what would have transpired afterward.
Recall, Misty One's timeline of Bellwether's witnesses. With your theory, the construct would have spent more than an hour in the library. Having it there would have risked my so-called ruse from being discovered.
Luckily, Lady Franca can't tell night from day.
I wouldn't have had the construct linger around the library.
Clearly doesn't match what you're thinking. What kind of weak assertion is that? How could you possibly know what I'm thinking? Oh, Jesus Christ, what is that, Phones? He is kind of losing it. You need to choose your words more carefully. No one else knows about the Eyes of Horus, yeah. So it's intuition.
The timing deduced from Miss Frega's testimony is predicated on one thing. She saw Miss Bellwether exit your office after your meeting. However, if we assume that you're lying about when this meeting ended, your entire argument falls apart. Miss Frega would have encountered Bellwether after her death at 2:01 p.m.
Miss Frega wouldn't have made a mistake like that. Miss Frega thought it was morning when she saw Bellwether. She can't reliably tell the time. What about the rapier that was...
What about where the rapier was placed? It really was the murderer. That would mean I planted the weapon in young Wallace's locker. Several of the students had lockers there that I had access to. I wouldn't have placed incriminating evidence in that locker. Wallace is one of my prize students. If I had to frame anyone, he would have been the last person I chose.
This is what I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, stop reviewing today. Feels like words just slip through my brain and fly away.
You know, I've been there. Oh my god, if you've ever had having to like memorize anything for like a presentation, after a while I'm just like I can't bother this. I can't. Everything. What about the 5 Ps? What do Westerners what do Western consumers like more than Eastern consumers in my goddamn marketing business class? I've been there.
Well, enjoy a break. Get some food and some drink, and relax and chill.
I want to place incriminating evidence in that locker.
Why did you do? Why Wallace specifically?
Because you knew about Bellwether's reputation? No, that's not right. He wouldn't have intentionally framed Wallace. Something must have confused him about whose locker he placed the rapier in. Oh! The name switching. Duh. Psh, stupid me. Ah, evidence in the locker. Here we go. You're right, Mr. Redmond. You wouldn't try to frame Wallace, but you would try to frame Miriam Frege. Right, because... Yeah, because you're framing the Fregas for it, because they're in on it too. Yeah, it makes sense.
It would have been a perfect act of revenge, wouldn't it? You murder your treacherous coworker and frame the daughter of the family that helped her. But something went wrong, didn't it, Redmond? The labels on Wallace's locker and Miriam's locker were switched. Anyone who saw that would have easily mixed them up.
I am the headmaster of the Imperial Academy. I have records of all students' lockers and where they're located. There's no reason I would make a mistake like that. If I truly planned this, I would have known where Wallace's locker was.
A simple change in labels wouldn't have led me to make a careless mistake like that. This is true.
He's spitting. He's right. So how did you still... No. Shadow that. So if...
Fucking love the music for this.
If he has knowledge of where everyone's locker is, and he doesn't... There's no way he would make a mistake. So let's just throw out the idea that he's the one that planted the rapier. Because to be honest, no one has testified seeing him enter the locker room at any point during this entire situation. So unless he cast like invisibility on himself and then snuck in and placed it, someone else had to do it for him. And that someone else just means a construct. Do I present this? But it wasn't you, was it? I'm cracked.
Your Arcane contract was the one who planted the rapier in the locker.
I bet you commanded it to place this rapier in the locker of Miriam Frege. But it saw the ID number on Wallace's locker and assumed that it was Miriam's.
This is... I remember begins desperately stammering, looking for something to say. Miss Steelwood, say something. She's... What? What?
So Cuthbert, your theory may be plausible, but there's no evidence to support it.
That's right, you don't have any proof, do you? Saying that I could have committed the murder isn't the same as proving that I did it.
There's no evidence of my orders. Yes, there is. These things have a command log. Idiot. I remember reading this. What? How is it not this?
Okay, before I get hoed, before the game can I not save here? Oh my god, okay. I don't know how it's not this.
There's no evidence of my orders. Okay, so if it's not the construct itself that has this in it that says command log, then I can only think that it would be The construct in the locker room? Okay. Your arcane construct is still in the locker room where it planted the rapier. All we have to do is take a look inside it, and we'll see the blood inside. Is that so, Mr. Cuthbert? Why does he look so confident? No, Mr. Cuthbert, I already checked the inside of that construct during my investigation. The material was completely clean. What? The construct's primary function is to assist and clean, dear Tyrion. They have a function that allows them to clean themselves, inside and out. Well, we can still look at its command history, right? Think about it, Mr. Cuthbert. You honestly think that the murderer would leave behind evidence like that? I'm sure that whoever orchestrated this plot, they ordered the construct to wipe its logs when it was finished. No. That's right, Mr. Cuthbert. Your case against me is theoretical at best. But I suppose I can still give you marks for trying. Fuck you, man. I mean, he thought of everything. Is he seriously able to get rid of all of the evidence? Running out of options. We still have one tool left. It's going to glare like that, Tyrion. Oh, there we go. I can finally grab this. There you are. Going to glare like that, young Tyrion. He's doing it again. Bring yourself back to that moment with Garrick Pierce. Think about what's at stake for Wallace, just like you did with Celeste. His life and his future are in your hands. Naught can remain concealed. It's ready to be empowered eye again. Redmond did a good job of covering his tracks. There has to be something that he forgot to get rid of. Okay, so we need to inject some stuff into his brain. So, just the construct, you know. Why was the construct in the locker room, though? It shouldn't have been there if it had followed my orders. No matter, it wiped its logs. They have nothing on me. So he did order it to wipe its logs. In order to cover all of its tracks, it probably would have done this at least. Construct's orders were clear. Plant the body in Lecture Hall 2B, and then plant the evidence in Frega's locker. It was supposed to head to the storage room afterward. What happened? It's not supposed to be in the locker room, it's supposed to be in the storage room. He ordered the construct to go to the storage room. It would have done that after it was finished planting evidence in the locker room. But we found it in the locker room. Stop the construct from leaving the locker room. The lockdown. Yeah. Isolate and protect each room in the building. There's the storage. Where's the? I just noticed that the locker room isn't even on this. Yo. Okay. Well, my point is this. Right. The body was probably reported earlier than Redmond was expecting. This means he probably started lockdown before the contract was finished in the locker room. How did the lockdown affect the construct's actions? Well, I mean, it wasn't able to leave, right? Redmond's series of commands was interrupted by the lockdown. Right, series of commands would have been interrupted. 1 minute. Oh, fuck, right, yeah, the ABC thing. The chain of commands. Which means its log isn't wiped. Because it didn't... Because of the order he put them in. Its final command was to wipe its memory. But if its orders were interrupted by the lockdown, then... Steelin, I have nothing more to ask this witness. What? You're not giving up, are you? Do you even have to ask? Yeah, I thought so. How are you going to prove he did it if he's not testifying? Don't worry, the next witness's testimony will be all I need. Next witness. The look on your face isn't one of defeat. Just what are you planning? It's nothing but desperate bravado. Now, if you'll excuse me. You let your quarry and get away, Mr. Cuthbert. Hope you know what you're doing. I do, Ms. Steelin. First, I'd like for the Inquisition to bring in the arcane construct in the Academy's locker room. Probably established the murderer could have wiped its history. Please,
Just humor me for a second, Miss Steelwood. Very well. Bailiff, please relay Mr. Cuthbert's request to Commander White.
there it is.
Looking like, what's its... Silver Chariot, there it is. From JoJo. I hope you know what you're doing, Mr. Cuthbert.
Construct. What are your orders? Please recite your command history. Reporting. Command 1. Stand by in Headmaster's office. Command 2. Await vocal signal attack from Theodore Redmond. You hear Redmond stand up from the gallery. Seeing this, the prosecutor watches him and carefully clutches the handle of Arcane. Command 3. Treat Catherine Bellwether as a hostile entity and neutralize. Ah. Construct. Wipe your... Oh, the whole... What the Hoddle? Where you can finish the sentence, the prosecutor points Arcane at the headmaster. Magical energy shoots from it and collides directly with him. The magic wreathes around his body and stops him from moving. He's clearly trying to struggle against it, but it looks like he can't even move his mouth. Steelin? Excuse the interruption. Please continue. Command 4. Awaits vocal signal leave from Theodore Redmond. Command 5. Move to classroom to B. Reply to any inquiries with voice line number 3. Command number 6. Remove Catherine Beller from interior frame and place on floor. Keep construct. Stop now. I think we all know the rest. Press be clear. Who gave you this series of commands?
Commands are provided by Headmaster Theodore Redmond.
Well... How the construct to wipe its command history? Constructs don't follow the same logic that humans do. They're prone to error when their commands are impossible to execute. Impossible? In what way were my commands impossible? You were the one that made it impossible. You activated the lockdown system. Lockdown? The body was found earlier than you'd like. You had no choice but to immediately activate the lockdown system when it was reported. However, the contract was still in the locker room when you did this. So that's why it's there. The contract finished its task in the locker room, but then it tried to follow your next command. It tried to move to the storage room, but it was prevented from doing so. Completion of that command was impossible, so the series of commands was stopped before it wiped its history. Little... Theodore Redmond, you ordered your construct to murder Catherine Bellwether. Then you had to place the murder weapon in a locker to frame Miriam Frege. And we have your construct's testimony to prove it. And that's checkmate. Got his ass. Can't believe it. This headmaster. She was going to take everything from me. Yup. My position, my academy, my students, everything would be gone. It was going to be stolen by her and the Freges. Did you say anything to me? I could have... Don't you dare stand there and act ignorant, Lady Steelwind. You think the Freges acted alone? Your father was part of this plot too. Rip. I have nothing to say to you. I thought you were distant. I listened to your lies about societal... Well, I mean, it was her father. It was not her specifically. That's bullshit, man. You can't lay that at her. And you're just like the rest of the... Yeah, you can't. That's not fair. But scaled lord, what have I done? I was even willing to sacrifice poor Wallace. Can't believe It happened again. Eris is probably in the fucking room then. How did I do this? Because we have a full confession. Of course, there's no reason to prolong this any further. Please escort the witness to a holding cell. Yeah, man. We saved you at the cost of, like, kind of your guardian. But he was just willing to let you take the fall for it, though. So, you know, kind of worked out, I guess. Alright. But you really did it. Yep.
Feels amazing, right? Like a big weight being lifted from your shoulders. It does, but I can't believe the headmaster was the one who did this. Right? Despite everything Redmond did, he was the one that allowed Wallace to pursue his dreams. I'm sorry. I'm sure this is bittersweet for you. What am I gonna do now?
Headmaster Redmond was the only reason that I could even attend the academy. With him gone.
Don't think like that. Got acquitted. I'm sure it'll all work out. I don't know about that. I don't agree, but necromancy is basically taboo. Without Redmond's support, there aren't many places he could learn it legitimately. Then there's the Imperial Academy. Don't you get all sad on me too.
Sorry. I was just thinking.
With Redmond gone, the Fragos will probably just appoint another sycophant as the headmaster. Valentina, Valerie, and Jan, they're all going to lose their jobs. Come on, you found the truth and you put a murderer behind bars. You saved Wallace. Hey, there's Timora. As you start to exit the courtroom, you're greeted by Miss Timora. She didn't gather this entire time. At the end of the day, you saved Wallace from a wrongful conviction. You should be proud of yourself for that. So maybe I am just overthinking things. The doubt still lingers in your mind. Now, come on. I'm taking Wallace to the restaurant we went to last time. Do you remember how much that place cost? I mean, I have plenty of gold. Am I the only one on this team not making any gold? Should meet us there, Celeste. Need to talk with Tyrion for a moment. Alright. Let's go, Wallace. Wait. Why do I hate the feeling? You activated the Imperial Eye. Yeah, I figured. The Empowered Eye again, didn't you? She doesn't appear to be praising you. I did. I didn't really have a choice. Eye of Horse is a powerful tool, Tyrion. That's twice now that you use the Empower Eye to get out of a tough spot. You can't keep relying on it if you want to grow as an attorney.
Yeah. In the best case scenario, it's like the thing that we use when we run out of options. Which, you know, was both of those times. So I don't really... You have a point, but I don't think we're breaking what you're saying. One day, you'll find a witness that the Empowered Eye won't work on.
It's worked for me this far, though. Don't look at me like that.
Every single time she looks at me like that, I'm just like... But
I suppose you're right. I'll try to rely on it less next time.
That marked the end of another case in my career as a defense attorney.
Another life saved. Another murderer brought to justice.
But I still couldn't shake this feeling of uneasiness. Was it guilt for what would happen to the faculty staff? Or was it something else?
The Walking Dead, complete case 2.
man, Steelman's been talking with the perp for hours. I'm sorry to even ask at this point. Turns out she doesn't trust his testimony. Something about his memories not matching up with the crime scene. You don't think he has Mage Blight, does he? No, it's not that. She found that damn symbol etched into his desk. What'd she call it? The purple mark. Oh, for the love of... Not this again. Look, if the little lady wants to chase the boogeyman, just let her. At least this time, she's doing it personally instead of dragging us into it. Cast sleep. Oh my god, Eris. Orm, draw your fucking sword. Don't you have a sword?
I don't see it, but cut this woman.
Oh my... Who did this to your desk? What's gone into you? Already admitted to everything. What more could you possibly want from me? Where did this graffiti come from? What is this symbol? What is the purple mark? I don't know, a student must have done it at some point. Think very hard, Headmaster. When did you receive this purple symbol? Focus on the moment you received this. Wait. Wait a minute. I remember it now. But how... Oh no. Did he still win? He still win? Aria, what happened? Are you okay? That was close. Oh my god. My elation over meeting him almost made me forget. Harris, what are you doing here? Why? Hey, I remember now. It was you who put those ideas into my mind. You're the one who told me to murder Bellwether. Yeah, you're very much not human. This is not surprising. You would never fail to amuse me. I didn't make you do anything. Everything you did that day, all the planning, all the preparation, that came from your own mind. And I have to say, I was quite entertained with the scheme you came up with. Why, you even broke into Miriam's room. I didn't know you had it in you, old man. You made me forget about our conversation, but how? Illusions can't affect the mind. Magic can't affect the mind. It's a shame, though. I'd have much rather turn Wallace into the antagonist of this chapter. Could you imagine if he turned? It would have been spectacular. Armies of the undead, running rampant in the streets. But alas, even I couldn't corrupt his pure soul. Who are you? What are you? Who am I? I'm the Lord of the Sixth. What the fuck is... That sounds like some demon shit. And he's dead. He's fucking dead. Well. Alright. So yeah, we'll start the next case, and then that'll be that. There's 5 cases, so once we beat this one, we're past the halfway point. The origins of Horus. That's what the game from episode 3, yes. Frey Cuthbert. I'm sorry, Tyrion. There were so many things that I wanted to tell you. So many things that I wanted to show you. But I'm afraid I can't do that now. I need you to be strong now. This world is bleak, merciless, and unforgiving. But I've seen you. I know how bright the light within you is. Use my eyes. Peer beyond the divine gate as I once did. What? Use it to reclaim the future. The origins of Horus. Preposterous. Completely and utterly preposterous.
That is a very triangle nose, sir.
Is something wrong, Lord Von Sanctus? Lloyd Von Sanctus, he's a nobleman, 45 years old. His arcane art is Objuration. You filthy rat. You cheated, didn't you? That's right, you're just a cheat and a charlatan.
Yeah, aye, man. Do you have any evidence to prove that ridiculous claim? I mastered chess before you could crawl out of whatever rat hole you came from. Do you honestly expect anyone to believe that you could defeat me? Honestly, I'm just as disappointed as you are. I was expecting more of a challenge from House Von Sanctus. But I suppose all the gold in the world can't buy you a modicum of skill. Jesus. Little upstart, I'll... Von Sanctus' acquaintance clears his throat and gestures subtly to the crowd of spectators. Everyone's attention is on him, and you can see the crowd muttering amongst themselves. His undignified behavior probably isn't doing any favors for his public image. Realizing himself, he tries to regain his composure. It's preposterous. He walks away, muttering the word preposterous under his breath a few more times. It sounds like he's trying to reassure himself more than anyone else. So, that was something. Yeah, I knew that he'd get angry, but I didn't expect him to make a scene like that. Well, you did insult him. Not to say that he didn't deserve it. Come on, I love seeing these conceited nobles lose their minds when I beat them. It's half the fun of playing these tournaments. Wow, where's this confidence when we're in the courthouse? Court cases are different. I have to deal with real-world elements during a trial, and that includes Prosecutor Steelwind. Prosecutor Steelwind, huh? Wonder if she plays chess. Now there's a thought. Wonder if she'd be willing to play against you sometime. She can't be any worse than these pampered nobles. Anyways, we should celebrate somewhere in town. Even if he was a pushover, he'd just be one of the top-ranked chess players in the kingdom. To be honest, you had your reservations about returning to the city of Oranax. If you weren't facing one of the four pillars, you would have never come back here. You'd rather leave the city as soon as possible. Ooh? Saw a cafe while we were walking around. It smelled great. Really like to go there. Can always go to one of the cafes in the capital. There are plenty of places to choose from there. I've traveled around the world. There's nothing better than food from a thriving port city. Alright, suppose there's no harm in staying a little longer. She does have a point. City streets seem livelier than when you last saw them. See a lot of businesses that weren't here before, and they all seem to be very well off. Despite being a port city, Oranax used to look like a ghost town. Has the local nobility been investigating? Has the local nobility been investing in the city? You find that possibility very hard to believe. You have the cafe that Celeste told you about. As you enter, you're struck by a powerful aroma of freshly baked pastries and coffee. I literally haven't had breakfast. I could do with that. The scent of the baked goods swirls around you. You take a moment to inhale the enticing smells. You have to admit that it's making you very hungry. So, you seek to enter the domain of the Deathbringer song. What? Shunibayo. Well, of course, what you seek, then look no further. I mean, I like the design.
You stand between
Masarika Tudor,
Dark Lord of... Yeah, okay. Step further into the cafe, you're approached by a familiar face. She's a merchant. That is a pretty good design. Rika, is that you? Yeah. Appears that my reputation precedes me. How good of you to... Right, you're Tyrion. You're back.
Hi. Why'd you tell anyone that you were back in town? No idea how worried we've all been. You two know each other. Right. Celeste, this is Master Tudor. I was friends with her when I lived here many years ago. I used to live here? Yeah, Oranax is actually the town I grew up in. But you were in such a hurry to leave before. What? Came here to eat, alright? If you're still hungry, I can bring you some of our best dishes on the house. But no, I couldn't possibly. Come on, don't be like that. It's been years since I've seen you. And you know how good my food is. Okay, but only for a little while. Pika sets a table for three of you and calls over a waiter. Place your orders. Tell me everything. All about what you've been doing since you've left. Alright, there you go. Wow, she's big. My god. I can't. I'm gonna save. But yeah, like I have to go here in order to actually get a better look. She's a little big. Not as big as some of the things that I've seen, but she's indeed big. Very much Malep. I guess we'll try and get to the murder part, which I know will happen before we end it off. So, are you going to introduce us? Right. This is Celeste McCoy. He's my bodyguard. Bodyguard. And Celeste, this is... this if I need such introductions. I am Osurika Toro, Dark Lord of Aranax, High Archmagi of the Cadmium Flames, and the proud proprietor of this cafe. Right. I was friends with her when I used to live here. She's a little eccentric, but a good person at heart. Hey. She's also a common folk mage like you. Ah, so you come from the same humble beginnings that I do. Which spells have you mastered? I haven't really mastered any of them. I know about 7 spells though. 7? That's almost 4 times the amount that I know. You only... Oh. We don't like do. There aren't even more spells. Just pick them up rather quickly. When you served. Tyrion Cuthbert. Look at you, Mr. Big Shot. You're wearing a suit now. You even have a bodyguard. Did you get an office job in the big city? Something like that. I'm actually a defense attorney now. A defense attorney? I see. Is that why you left town with that scary lady? Scary lady? Talking about Ruby. This time Aura adopted me when my mother passed, several years ago. After that, she began training me to become an attorney like her. Wait, you've been studying to be an attorney since you were a kid? I guess that explains why you're so lung for a lawyer. Said the 19-year-old mercenary, exactly. Yeah, I guess it got me there, exactly. Rika's Cafe. You're the owner of this cafe, Rika. You always spoke about opening one when we were kids. Yep, and it's all thanks to the Dracogen Trading Company. The company's owner invested in my business after trying my food. Because of him, I was able to open up here, just like I've always dreamed. Dracogen Trading Company, I don't think I've heard of them. Pretty small right now, and they're only operating in Aranax. I hear they're planning to expand their operations throughout Wyverngard. But I would have thought that Lord Von Sanctus would have weeded out any competition. After all, he owns one of the largest businesses in the kingdom. Von Sanctus, isn't he that pompous noble that I beat in chess tournament this morning? Wait, that was you? I didn't even know he was a businessman.
Von Sanctus Industries invented those arcane constructs that we saw at the Imperial Academy. That would put them ahead. How do you not know about these things? You practically fight against nobles for a living. Maybe you should start reading more about national politics. Yes, I would like more lore to go along with this world/universe. It's pretty... Everything here is pretty standard as far as anime fantasy goes. But I'm interested. There's Eastern Kingdoms, there's mountains, well, there was dragons. There's Bahamut.
Harnack City. Is it just me, or does the city look less depressing than before? Oh, right. You left the city before the new merchants appeared. New merchants? Like from a merchants guild? Yeah, so the Dracugen Trading Company. Started operating here and brought the Arcane Refinery. Well, bought the Arcane Refinery a few years ago. After that, merchants from all over Wyvengard started coming here. Oh, being based in a port city would definitely give them an edge. Their presence has really helped the city's economy. They are owned by the nobility, and they pay their employees a lot more than Von Sanctus does. It's really improved the quality of life for the people here. I doubt Von Sanctus appreciates the competition, though. She's even talking about forming an employee-run unions. Yeah, unions. Oh, Von Sanctus definitely won't appreciate that. Chess tournament. So, you still play chess? Yeah, I'm nationally ranked too. I heard that an upstart commoner defeated Lord Von Sanctus at a tournament this morning. I had no idea they were talking about you. Upstart commoner. The name suits you, Tyrion. Hey, do you still do that thing when you play? No. What thing? Nothing. She's not talking about anything. Wait, you're actually embarrassed about it? When we were kids, you did it even more than I did. What did you used to do? Why don't you show her, Tyrion? I'd rather not. Come on, show us, Tyrion. Now what? The thing. I think I'm a little too old for this. You're never too old to tap into your inner Chuny. There we go. It was like her first line. I'm like, you're Chuny as fuck. Do it, Tyrion. Yeah, do it. Two of them being chanting, trying to pressure you. It draws the attention of the other patrons in the cafe. They don't seem to care about the confused looks that they're getting. It seems that you don't have a choice. You've taken a deep breath. Oh no! Those who stand in the shadows, those who feel the light of dignity. Your Imperials will fall, and your armies will perish. Kneel and cower before the divine gaze of the Eye of Horus. Assholes. Laugh at him for that. It's hard to contain their laughter. Well, that's why I don't do it anymore. No, that was great. It was really cool, Tyrion. Her poorly contained laughs are coming up between each word. And why are you laughing? You were just doing it a moment ago. Yeah, but she owns it. Used to say something else before, too. I won't let anyone stand in my way, even if they're a man, king, or god. Yeah, that's it. He still says that sometimes. Oh, so your order's here. The waiter brings in the lunch special for each of you. The enticing aroma of the meals makes you salivate a little. You gladly devour the meal. You gladly devour the meal. Rika's cooking is just as delicious as you remembered. Spend more time catching up with her while you finish your meal. As the conversation continues, you and Celeste regale her with stories of your past court cases. Oh, really? Yep, it turned out that it was the headmaster the entire time. Wow, I've never figured that out. How did you know, Tyrion? Maybe he saw it with his Eye of Horus. If only you knew. You nearly choke on your drink before you realize what she's actually referring to. But wow, can't believe it.
I never thought court cases could be that dramatic. You finish your meal as you continue to tell Rico more about your cases. It's nice being able to talk with her again. You tried so hard to leave everything behind after what happened, but you're happy that she seems to be doing well. Well, it's been nice catching up with you, Rika. But I think it's time for us to get going. What? We just got here.
He's trying to hit the jets.
It's okay. I'm sure you're pretty busy nowadays. Won't keep you any longer. But be sure to write, okay? Don't just go and disappear like last time. Yeah, I'll stay in touch. You better. You exit the cafe and make your way to the local merchant's guild to rent a carriage. City streets seem a bit more crowded than usual. It's a little difficult to make your way through them. Hey, Tyrion? Yeah? Celeste is fidgeting with her hands. She looks like she wants to say something, but every time she starts to speak, she quickly stops herself. This happens a few more times before she seems to give up. Never mind. It's nothing. Okay. You'll continue to walk silently as you make your way to the Merchant's Guild. As you make your way there, the streets become more and more crowded. You hope the traffic won't interfere with the ride home.
Alright, well, that voice, that was, yeah, my voice, they...
Hi, can we rent a carriage for the
travel to Rathholm. I almost say Ratholm, but it's Rathholm.
Sorry, but travel outside of the city is temporarily closed.
What? Why?
Haven't you heard? The Knights of the Kingsguard have locked down the city. They set up a blockade and everything. Check the city gates if you don't believe me. So we're stuck here. So you arrive at the city gates, you see the blockade that the merchant was talking about.
A crowd of disgruntled townsfolk are angrily shouting at the knight stationed there.
This is outrageous. When do you plan on keeping us here? Sorry, but we have our orders. Can't let anyone outside of the city until our investigation is complete. There's an investigation that something happened. Yeah, a murder happened. Please tell us what's going on. Why is the entire city being blockaded? Sir, we're not allowed to release that information. You just have to make other arrangements while we sort this out. Actually, I haven't seen you two around before. We'll need to take down your names and occupations for our records. Why? It's fine, Celeste. We're better off just cooperating with them. It's an invasion of privacy, but you'd rather not resist orders from the King's Guard. I'm Tyrion Cuthbert. I'm a defense attorney. Fine. Celeste McCoy, bodyguard. Thanks. Look over to the other King's Guard. They seem to be taking notes of the people here too. Be making a list of everyone inside the city. What reason? Yep, blockade around the city. I have an important engagement tomorrow. What am I supposed to do now? This can't possibly be legal. That's what continues shouting at the knights. It's clear they won't be budging anytime soon. What do we do now? Notice it's starting to get late. Yup. It's like noon. It's getting pretty late. We don't know how long the city will be blockaded. We should find a place to stay overnight, just in case. You walk into a nearby tavern and see it absolutely crowded with patrons. Ah, the asset reuse. The asset reuse. Fair. This is the same background that they used for the McCoy Tavern. It's fine. So everyone else had the same idea. Hey, welcome to Aegwin Tavern. What can I do for you? We get 2 rooms for the night? Sorry, I can't even spare 1 room. Completely full with a blockade and all. Wait, let me take care of this. Celeste takes a large pouch of gold and plops it on the innkeeper's desk. Wow, would you look at that? One of our rooms just opened up. Only one? Hey, the entire city's locked out. Even with your gold, that's the best I can do for you. What? Embarrassed to share a room with me, Tyrion? I mean, a little. No, it's just... You know, she's just teasing you like she usually does. Best not to give it any mind. Well, it's better than nothing.
So, how should we...
Oh, I was just kidding before. You can have the bed, I'll just sleep on the floor. What? I can't just let you... Please. We may both be commoners, but you live a cushy life in the city. I'm a mercenary. I've lived on the road for years. I sleep like this all the time. It's got you there. Alright. Tell me if you change your mind. Yeah. Okay, refinery. Okay. Hey, I didn't see you there. I was just walked past him. What? Hey, watch it. Quit shoving me. Wait, whoa. What the fuck is happening? Holy crap. Pull me up. I can't hold on for much longer. You idiot. What are you doing? What? Grab his arm and pull him up. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Ah, my hand. Yeah, that didn't... What the hell are you doing? Your grip is too tight. Stop that. Wait, I can still... No. No. What happened? I should have been able to... By the scaled board. He fell in. No. I can use this. That's right. I can still make this look like it was all his fault. Okay, that's the murder. And that's where I'm gonna end it then. I can save that for next time, / later. Actually, you know what? While I'm in here... How many people worked on this game? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 12. Oh wait, no, there's some repeats here. Anyway, this is not too many. UI elements, Q&A. Oh, crowd vendors. Nothing too crazy down here. Alright. That is all for now.